What if the fearless leader who vowed to end the drug menace was secretly building the most powerful drug empire the Philippines has ever seen? Behind the brutal killings and iron-fisted rule lies a dark web of deception, corruption, and hidden agendas. The truth is finally breaking through. Will you dare to uncover it? Welcome to Ellie Chronicles. For years, Rodrigo Duterte sold himself as the fearless leader the Philippines needed, the tough-talking, iron-fisted president who vowed to rid the nation of drugs and crime. He promised to clean the streets, protect families, and crush the criminal networks poisoning the country. But what if the reality is far darker? What if Duterte's so-called war on drugs wasn't about saving Filipinos, but about building a drug empire of his own? The numbers alone are staggering. Over 25,000 lives lost in Duterte's brutal campaign. Small-time users and street peddlers executed without trial, their bodies left in the open as a warning to others. The big question is, why weren't any big drug lords ever arrested? Billions of pesos worth of Shebu were seized, like the 6.4 billion haul in 2017 and the 3.6 billion bust in 2024. But no major players were convicted. Instead, the trails led to Duterte's own allies, who remained untouched. Was the entire campaign just a smokescreen to eliminate his enemies and monopolize the trade himself? Investigations revealed a disturbing pattern. Many of those killed had no real connection to drugs at all. Instead, they were political opponents, outspoken local officials, and even business rivals. Take Senator Laila de Lima, imprisoned on questionable charges after she exposed his alleged drug ties. Or the local mayors and dissenting officials mysteriously gunned down during so-called drug operations. Was Duterte's war on drugs really a war on dissent? A ruthless purge disguised as a moral crusade? To truly understand the depths of this deception, we need to look closer at those closest to him, starting with his son, Paulo Duterte. Whistleblowers like former Davao Death Squad leader Arturo Las Cañas accused Paulo of masterminding massive drug shipments through Davao's port, using Chinese connections like Michael Yang and Charlie Tang to facilitate the trade. During a Senate hearing, Senator Trillanes asked Paulo to reveal a supposed tattoo on his back, one allegedly marking him as a high-ranking member of the Chinese tri-drug syndicate. Paulo refused, and his silence spoke louder than any denial. And then there's Michael Yang, a businessman with direct access to Duterte himself, linked to massive Shabu shipments. Instead of facing charges, he was appointed as an economic advisor, protected, promoted, shielded by Duterte's influence. The money tells a story too. Billions of pesos moved through the Duterte family bank accounts with no clear source. When pressed, Duterte refused to sign a waiver that could have proven his innocence. Why would he refuse if he had nothing to hide? Federalism was another puzzle piece, a dream Duterte aggressively pushed. On the surface, it seemed like a plan to improve governance. But what if it was really about consolidating his power over Mindanao, turning it into a lawless haven where his drug empire could thrive? With Mindanao gaining total autonomy, Davao would become a cartel-controlled state beyond the reach of national oversight. Duterte and his allies would rule unchallenged, with local militias and police under their command. And while this power was being consolidated, Duterte wasn't just building a drug empire, he was building a cult of personality. His troll armies flooded social media with propaganda, discrediting his critics and spreading lies to protect his image. Duterte positioned himself as the tough, anti-elite leader willing to do anything for the common Filipino. But in reality, he was feeding on the public's fears and frustrations to manipulate their loyalty. Now, the International Criminal Court is investigating Duterte for crimes against humanity. calls for justice grow louder, demanding accountability for the thousands of lives lost. Families of victims continue to fight for answers, refusing to let their loved ones be forgotten. Human rights groups persist in documenting abuses, determined to hold those responsible to account. Yet, as the truth unfolds, even his staunchest allies begin to distance themselves from his legacy. As more whistleblowers come forward, the picture of Duterte's drug empire becomes clearer. Filipinos are left with a crucial choice: to continue idolizing a leader who betrayed them or to embrace the painful truth and seek justice. The truth is out there. The question is, will we choose to see it?